Welcome, everyone, to probably my most embarrassing video I'm making. And you saw it in the thumbnail, saw the title, and here she's is. Anyway, hi. This is my second main tier list I'm making. Well, actually, that's not true. I've actually made multiple playlists, stuff like on my favorite games and stuff. But in terms of in terms of making a video of it, this is the second one. I actually did want to make one late last year for Mega Man bosses and sorts, but I never went through making that. But recently I was interested in wanting to do this. And as you can see, this is my favorite anime girls. Personal for me. And as you can see, the different tiers, obviously, there's a lot to say. So you have to wait a little bit to see my opinions. So where do I begin? So first of all, I'm only counting characters from series I have seen. So, a perfect example is the character Panties from Panty and Stocking. I would probably put her on here, on this tier list, but because I haven't seen the anime, I've seen the first episode, which you might think that should count, but I kind of need to see maybe a little more, because, how am I supposed to know if I really like the character a lot? For all I know, I might actually like her more than I think I do. But another rule is I can't count any characters that I love them in the manga, and there is an anime adaptation with them, but I haven't seen the anime adaptation. I think one perfect example is Rosette from Chrono's Crusade. Sadly, Rosette is not going to be on this tier list because, although I love her in the manga, haven't seen the anime yet. This is specifically anime girl characters. And I think it's kind of important to do that because sometimes the characters, and funny enough, the first character I'm going to place on here is going to be this example where it doesn't mean they're this, even though doesn't mean they're the same character. How do I put this? Okay, to put it bluntly, even if they're the same character technically, they are different enough a lot of the time for just the smallest reasons that where they would be ranked at could be different. You'll see later. Also, another rule is no characters that are, I guess, any, how do I put this? No trans / girly boys. That might sound offensive saying there's so many words for it, but I guess basically feminine guys, they're not allowed. Even if they're classified as trans, it comes down, the rule is you have to be biologically born a girl, and if they classify as being biologically born a girl, then they're allowed. But if they weren't born a girl, even if mentally they're a girl, and I'm gonna kind of cheat with this because there is one character on here that honestly might have not even made this tier list if it wasn't for a good chunk of the series where you'll see. Also, you can see it says 100. So when I was making this, that was the most time-consuming part. Just, I wasn't sure how many characters I was going to do it. I won't go into details how I kind of brought them together, but I pretty much just looked at all the series I've seen and just tried to remember, you know, what characters I really liked. And I guess, when it seemed like I was somewhat close to 100 and I was kind of struggling to think of more characters, I was like, oh, well, maybe this could be not a top 100, but, you know, it could be a favorite anime girls tier list / 100 favorite. Well, I messed up. I accidentally, you know, I tried to be careful, but, you know, with 100 girls, I'm bound to mess up. But I accidentally have more than one of the same character, but to what I've seen, it's only that one, so it's really 99. Funny enough, just a heads up spoiler, once you see the character twice, it's funny that the one I accidentally put twice is actually my favorite anime girl of all time. So, I'll accept it. But, yeah, so those are the things. It sucks because it's like, there's so many anime girl characters I really like, either because of the manga or just seeing them before ever watching the series and stuff like that. And I wish I could have been able to add them, but I couldn't. Oh, I love this song. This is from Magic Knight Rayearth. These are all Saturn songs. Now, the anime tier list took a very long time. That took like, that took over 3 hours. Maybe even almost close to 4 hours. This won't take as long, because this is only around 100 characters versus like over 150 shows. But I think that's everything. Now, I'm not gonna show... Actually, there's one more thing to say. So, actually, dang, there's still a lot of things to say. Sorry. Well, for one thing, it was hard to pick 100 girl characters because there is... well, first I'll say this. So here's the 5 tiers, which is funny. There's pretty, really like, very cute, love them, my absolute favorites. So, because I'm usually picky for putting too many ones at the top tier because, you know, I want that top tier to be special. So I'm kind of restricting it where only 10 are going to be on the highest tier. So you could say my 10 favorites. You know, my absolute favorite anime girl characters. Love them is pretty much what it is. It's like, I love these characters so much. And then, you know, very cute. The word cute doesn't really mean anything. It's more like very and really. Like, if there's no, if there's no adjective for the very bottom one, you know, it's below this one, which I add really, and when I say very, very is above pretty, and then love is a word I try not to use much because that word is a strong word, so it says that for the second highest, and then for the highest one, it's just, yeah. So now going into that, because it was hard trying to think of, you know, narrowing it down to like 100 characters, there were multiple characters I had to remove, or characters that I wouldn't mind adding, like just honorable mentions. I'm sorry. Okay, I promise, most of these girl characters, I know their names. It's just been so many years, and it's just very blurry. But like, the main character from Kakaguri is an honorable mention. Aoi from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I thought she was so adorable when I watched the anime 2 years ago. Who else? Saber from Fate Stay Night. Chika from Erasura. Or, again, another character that her name just always slips from my memory many times is that one Frost Girl character. The purple hair from Rosario Vampire, because I remember always having a little bit of a crush on her when I was my young teens, even though I didn't see that show until years later. Anyway, I'm going to try not to gush about these characters. I wouldn't mind doing a favorite anime boy characters, but I wouldn't mind doing that. And no, I can have 100. I can think of that many. So, so for the pretty tier, I guess any character I put in the pretty tier, I guess is another way of saying that these characters could have arguably been switched with other characters, but because it was hard to choose, like, I guess saying that any character I put on there could have arguably been switched with other characters. However, any character that's going to be on the tier really liked and above, they're absolutely in my top 100. Alright, last thing. Why would I make a favorite anime girls? I just like fictional girl characters. Plain and simple. Alright, so hopefully it captures it. I actually cropped it enough where it doesn't look as bad like it did last time when I made my tier list video. So this should look a little better. And however my screen looks, that's how it looks for mine. Alright, so it should be showing it. And yes, I think this one anyone could do, but there's just no point because this one's made for me. Personal for me. Alright. I want to change the colors. How do you change the colors? Silver because it's my favorite color. Love them because I like this color. Pink because it's cute. Sky blue because I like sky blue. And then this one, orange because it's okay. What is these color combinations? Anyway, here we go. Now, unlike the anime tier list, I don't want to show all of them at once. I kind of just want to keep them, most of them a secret. So you're only going to see the first row, and you'll see the, one added at a time. So I gotta be careful. So here's the first batch. Here they are. And of course, to my friend, I'm sorry, as a heads up, too late of a heads up, you're gonna see, of course, several characters that you might not be fond with. I'm sorry. So just a warning, and there she is. Okay, let's begin. Okay, one last thing, I swear. When I did scroll down and just looked at them all at once, it was kind of overwhelming for me because I couldn't process the fact that all of these girl characters I really like. It was just kind of overwhelming. It's almost like looking at... maybe in a more silly way, it's like listening to my 100 favorite video game songs, or just 100 favorite songs at the same time. It's just like... it's like so much goodness. That was a little creepy. Let's begin. Talking like a commentator. Alright, first one. Fitting. Also, this is random. The adorable Better Than Baby? Hikaru Shido. I'm not gonna say their last names, but I know her last name. Hikaru. So she's, the example I was gonna say where, wait. Alright, just double checking. So yeah, Hikaru, if this was manga Hikaru, maybe she would be my absolute favorites. I love Hikaru so much. I really like her. I've already drawn her twice, which it's a big deal for me to draw a character. For the most part. And yeah, I love Hikaru. But this is one of those rare This is one of those rare examples where I love manga Hikaru. This is anime Hikaru. Now, I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but in short, because of the ending, as well as how she is for, like, the last, like, 40% of the anime, I don't like her as much in the manga. The only thing I'll say is that she's just consistently sad for the last 40%. Like, I swear, up until the end, I rarely can recall her even smiling in the last 20 episodes. She has a reason why, like, she goes through a lot more in the anime than in the manga, but it's just kind of sad because what I love about Hikaru is she just has a good balance between being intimidating, sad, and just being a very high-spirited girl. And I guess those are some of my favorite kind of girl characters, is just the ones that are, you know, bright and high in spirits, and just also having a strong spirit, but also, of course, you know, just having their vulnerable sides. I would want to put her on the absolute favorites, and maybe, just maybe, but again, this is anime Hikaru, so she's gonna be right here. Although, don't take that as an insult. I would say it's definitely a compliment if any character on here is going to be on these two tiers. I guess you could say this is like 8 out of 10, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10s. Okay. Next up is Pan, which I think I forgot about this. I just recently found out that Pan in Japanese means bread, which is cute. More constipation. So anyway, Pan from GT. Little fun fact, I actually had a little crush on her when I first looked at a lot of clips of GT when I was 14. However, in the English dub, she is 15. What did I say? I was 14. And she was 15 in the English dub. However, I didn't know that in the original Japanese dub / her actual age is 10. But I didn't know that until a lot later. But still, the reason why I had a little crush on her was just because I liked her design, and I don't know. She's definitely it's definitely an unpopular opinion, but most people don't really care for Pan. In fact, I think a lot of people would go as far to say that she is one of the main complaints about GT, because, you know, yeah, she's pretty much the second main character. Like, you see her in just about every episode. She's a huge part of the series. So, if you don't like Pan, then that's going to be a major complaint. But if you do like Pan, then yeah, it's fine. I like Pan. It's a bit tricky because some of these characters I'm going to be a bit biased because I have a lot of memories with them, with her since 2013. So, I'm going to put her in the very cute. Again, ignore the word cute. It's just basically saying that they're very, you could say cool, really cool, very cool, love cool, absolute cool, whatever. But yeah, she goes here. Ichigo. Yes, Ichigo. Not Tokyo Mew Mew Ichigo. Not Ichigo from Bleach, just Ichigo from Darling in the Franxx. So, she's definitely a good example that she belongs in the pretty category. She could definitely be switched up with other girl characters, but she is my second favorite character in Darling in the Franxx, and she was actually my favorite. I actually liked her more than the other character that you'll of course see later. But I don't know, I just grew to like her not as much towards the second half, just because I started to like the other character more. But again, I'm okay putting her on here. I liked her in it. And, okay, so Kagura. Give a round for applause for Kagura because she is the first absolute favorites. Pretty much ever since, when was it? Ever since mid-2020, I just fell in love with her. I love Kagura. She reminds me of my fictional character Amber a bit. Even to little things like just kind of feeling bounded and restricted and not being able to feel free and have a life of her own. And she's kind of not the goodest person. Well, she's evil in this show. But yeah. But I love Kagura. Just to design, personality, attitude, and another thing that, well, let's just say there's like a little bit of a sort of, it never shows it, but it's almost kind of like a potential love interest with her and my favorite character in Inuyasha, which is awesome. So yeah, she's definitely top 10. Even now I have her as one of my profile pictures. Moving on is Mai. So, this is like the newest character so far, showing it at the moment. I watched Conan just a couple months ago, and Mai is my third favorite character in Conan. Well, I don't know if I would say third, because I really do like Yuichi. Yuichi at best is like my third favorite, at the very least he's like my fourth. I was gonna make a joke, but I have to be careful. A lot of these characters are like 10 or younger. I was just gonna make a joke, but anyway. So we got Mai. I love Mai. Well, maybe not love, but I really do. I really like. I forgot the name of the red type, but it's just the one where it's like they very rarely show emotion. They just come off as very cold and monotone in terms of just emotional expression. And you'll see with some of these other characters later on that there are several characters. Even one that I didn't add. There was one honorable mention from, I can't remember her name, the girl from Angel Beach. She has like white hair and yellow eyes. She's also in that same Direct type. In fact, she's usually like the example of that Direct type a lot of the time. Like with Yuno, she's like pretty much viewed as the queen of Yandere's. But yeah, Mai goes very cute. And just to say, unlike my anime tier, it doesn't matter what order they go. I'm not gonna go from like, you know, this to that. I'm not gonna do that. So there's no specific order. It's just boils down to them just go into that tier. Besides, if I had to, I'm already in a deadlock. I can't choose which one I like more. Anyway, Rubette. So Rubette is an interesting one where, remember what I said, where I didn't want to add any trans or feminine guy characters, otherwise characters like Yuki K, for example, would be in the love them tier, but can't count them. But Rubette, she's a girl. Biologically, she's a girl. However, she, at best, would be right here. However, you know, I love her design. She's very cute. She's cool. But the reason why I'm willing to put her up here, I'm kind of cheating, is because I'm counting the good chunk of the series where Gokudo is swapped bodies with her. Like, I mean, for like a third of the series, Gokudo is just in Rubette's body. And some of my favorite scenes with Rubette is Gokudo in her body, spiritually. And because of that, I actually liked her enough where I wanted to draw her, and that was fun drawing. But technically the drawing was Rubette as Gokudo. So yeah, she goes on here. Okay, let me check OBS real quick. CPU is fine, recording's fine, my voice is being recorded. Everything's looking good. Alright. Next up is... oh no. Dang it, I remembered her name. It comes on and off in my head. Shoot. Shizu? Is that her name, I think? Shizu? I'll just say that. Shizu from Outlaw Star. Forgive me for having trouble. I'm bad at remembering names. They just want to slip around all over the place in my head. So yeah, Shizu from Outlaw Star. She was actually my favorite girl character in Outlaw Star, but now there's another character I like more. But she's my second favorite girl character. Why do I like her so much? I don't know. I really don't know. There's not really a lot to say about her. I just simply like her. Honestly, this one's kind of tricky. She could go to either one, but I'm gonna say she's in the really like category. Because she was my favorite at one point, and I still really like her. Oh my god, I really hate that I can't remember her name. Oh, going to the next one. Oh man, it sucks. I hate that I can't remember her name. She's from Ergo Proxy, she's the main character. It hasn't even been too long. Well, it's been over 2 years since I finished it. And I hate that my mind wants to call her Maya because she slightly reminds me of Maya from Persona 2. I am very sorry. You might think that it's dumb. It's like, how can you not remember characters you really like? It's like, shut up! Some of my favorite songs, I can't remember the names. I'm like this with a lot of things. Anyway, she's really cool. Ergo Proxy... Yeah, that's definitely a hit or miss for people. You're either gonna really like it, or you're just gonna be really... You're just not gonna get into it, even, you know, you're not gonna get into it. I really like it. I'll admit the second half is confusing as shit. Like, I mean, really confusing, to the point where a lot of people just gave up a little over halfway because it was just starting to make no sense. But I really like her. She's a very serious girl character, but at the same time, her being very serious can have its funny moments. And I love her blue eyeshadow. You don't really get to see anime girl characters with eyeshadow, and she commits to it. It's extremely rare to see her without it. And she's a badass girl. And I can't remember the name of that one band that girl's in, where you might think, hey, she looks kind of like that one girl. Well, apparently her design was actually inspired by her, which is cool. Anyway, she goes to the really like. I really like her. I'm not gonna say anything, but Shokuho Misaki. It's like I can't remember her name, but I remember her first and last name. Oh boy, So, Shokuho is a character from Railgun, and, not gonna say anything else, but she's up here. Yeah, she's probably my... yeah, she's like probably... She's my... Oh, there she is. Yeah, she's right here, but... get to that later. Crazy enough, I have not drawn her, even though I have been just, like ripping my skin. Not literally, but, like, ripping my skin wanting to draw her. But sadly, it was during a time where I wasn't really drawing much. But she's still in my mind a lot to draw her. Okay, this one. Ako Suminoe. There's a lot to say about her. It's kind of weird, but she is probably the biggest inspirational character, like anime girl characters, out of all these characters. I know that's extremely weird to say. It's complicated. It was a certain point in my life, and I'm not going to go into it, but this is the one time I'll make an exception. Even though there's no order. There's no order for these characters. I'm not saying I like Misaki less than Hikaru. Even though I do like Hikaru slightly more than... Again, anime Hikaru I do like a little more than her, but if we're talking manga Hikaru, then I like her more than her, definitely. But anyway, this is the one exception where there is going to be a certain order. She is up here. She is absolutely... She's absolutely... on my favorite. She's actually... Oh my gosh, I'm sorry for this. She is, and she has always been, for over 10 years, my favorite anime girl character. Yes, she's my favorite. I've always included her as my favorite, but it's kind of the kind of favorite, like, what's your favorite, what's my favorite movie? Treasure Planet. Well, why is it your favorite? I don't know, it's just my favorite. It's kind of half that, but the other half is just how much she inspired me. Not inspired me, it's just, like, just any fictional and whatever. Anyway, yes, she's on the very top. Funny seeing her because I'm watching Death Note with my mom. She doesn't care for anime, but for years I knew Death Note was the only anime that she could possibly like, and she's actually enjoying it. She actually finds Misa cute and funny, which is cool. But yeah, Misa. Same thing with Pan. A lot of people don't like Misa. A lot of people think the series would be better without her. I like her style. I like her obsessiveness with light on how far she could go. And I like her. I really do. However, in the show, she's like almost arguably not even in my top 3. She's like my 3rd or 4th favorite character in Death Note. Now, in terms of where I would put her, I could put her right here. Yeah, I can put her right there. You know, I really like her, but, you know, the fact that she's like my 3rd or 4th favorite is saying something. Winry! Yes, Winry. Also, I thought of this in my head, but I wasn't sure when to say it. Okay, so out of the 199 basically, out of the 99 anime girls, 20 out of the 99 comes from 4 different series. In other words, 4 anime series has like 5 girls that I liked enough to put them in the top 100. Although a couple are going to be in, maybe not even a couple. I don't know. We'll see. But I just wanted to say that. So, Winry. Okay, I'm gonna say it now with her, but I had a crush on Winry when I first read Fullmetal Alchemist. I think I was 15, which I think that was one reason why I had a crush on her, was that something about characters being like the same age as me, I love it. It's just really cool because I just feel, it's just one thing to feel closer to the character. But yeah. She's just a cool character. Now, there is going to be... Well, you already see another Fullmetal Alchemist character, but... And just a heads up, okay, one of the 4 series is Fullmetal Alchemist. There are 5 girl characters that are from Fullmetal Alchemist. There's just so many great characters. Trust me, if I did a favorite anime guy tier list, I swear, probably like 5, if not more, are going to be from Fullmetal Alchemist. So it's not just the girls, it's just the characters in general. This is Grandia music. Hopefully you can hear it. So yeah, Winry. Yeah, Winry's got to be right here. I really like Winry. I almost want to put her up here, but no, not too much. Although I did make a drawing of her. I do really like Winry. I really do. Now, if you're wondering which Winry am I referring to, the 2003 or Brotherhood, both. They're both equal. Oh, I really almost want to put her up here. I'll think about it. She's kind of in between. Alright, this one kind of a bit of a shocker. Mami from... If not, I think I know her first and last name. Mami Tomoe, maybe? From Puella Magica Magica. So, fun fact, she was actually my least favorite of the 5, and I never hated her or disliked her, but I never cared about her much because, spoilers, you don't really see her anymore for the most part after episode 3. And, yeah, you know, that was kind of the biggest problem, was that she didn't get enough screen time. Although she is pretty cool in the movie, although I don't want to go too much into it, but I started to like her extremely more when I rewatched Magica Magica for like the 5th time. And I think one of the reasons now is just because I really love her design. I just love her drill hairs. So because of it, yeah, she absolutely is in the top 100. I'll put her right here. It's just crazy to think that... Hinami! The cute, adorable Hinami. Cuter than baby? I keep laughing at that joke. Alright, just to mention it to a specific someone, I think earlier today I kept laughing. Kept laughing at that one time I said, like, but no, seriously, cuter than baby? It's just, couldn't stop laughing at that. Such a good tease. So anyway, Hinami, alright, this is one of those examples where, okay, another unpopular opinion, I do not like the anime of Tokyo Ghoul. I don't hate it, but at the same time I do. I read the manga first. I got really upset about the things they did in the manga. I mean the anime. Like the censorship, and they cut out like half the content from the first season, and then the second season they made a change that completely gave me huge whiplash of them, the audacity of them doing that, and I was very I was like ranting forever about that. I still remember that. I was ranting for like an hour. How just... Okay, I'm not going to go into this. We're talking about Hinami. So Hinami is... So even though Hinami's role, especially in the second season, is different than in the manga, you actually do get to see more Hinami in the anime, even though I still really like her just as much in the manga. So I like her pretty much equally the same. But Hinami's not my favorite character. Well, if there was more of her, I would say if there was more of her, she could be up here. But just like with Winry, she could arguably be up here, but I'm gonna put her right here. And you know, honestly, screw it, I'm gonna put Winry right here. It literally just boils down to, I don't like the anime, so she gets affected by a little bit, and Winry gets a plus because I love both Fullmetal Alchemist series. Alright, moving on. I realize this is gonna take... How long have we been doing this? 40 minutes. Okay, that's fine. Even though... Alright, so Miyabi. Again, this is the anime version, so the problem is all these... oh shoot, I don't want to say how many. She's from Ayoriyoshi, and she's actually, for some reason, my favorite character. I don't know why. I don't know why I do. And even in the anime, I still like her just as much. Why are you showing the hourglass? Why are you showing the... Frick's wrong with you? Anyway. So, I like Miyabi. I think what's crazy is, even though several years passed throughout that series, I think by this point I'm actually getting close to Miyabi's age. I think in the beginning of aaaaw, she's like 27 years old. Damn, gonna be her age. Yeah, I put her right here. She's my favorite aaaaw character, and I really do like most of the girl characters in that series, even though I like the manga way more than the anime. So, you know, I do like her a lot, I really do. Alright, Kotora-san! Kotora! This is Kotora from Kotora-san. Oh shoot, getting a heads up. I won't try to go into it, but because I don't know what I talked about in my anime tier list, but if you saw my anime tier list video, and if I did talk about it, you would know kind of the impact that the show Kotora-san did. It was during a time where my family was getting into a divorce, and I just found it on YouTube one day, and it's kind of the same situation with Kisses. I just kind of found it at the right place at the right time, and it just kind of left something, and left something on me mentally. It's not an amazing show, but I really like it because of the, but this one's gonna be kind of crazy, but for pretty much since 2017, she's been one of my favorites. It's hard to explain, but I've always put her like in my, I guess like years ago she was like in my top 5. I think specifically I put her as like my 3rd favorite, which is crazy to say, years ago, but yeah, she's up here. She really means a lot to me, and I really want to watch the series again. I've only seen it twice, which is saying a lot because it's kind of hard for me to watch series multiple times. Oh, there's the Uku baby. Alright, next up is Utako, which I was so crazy for her for a time, because when I read Man of Many Faces last year, and then watched Clamp's School Detective, I really enjoyed both of them. And, God, yeah, I'm putting her up there because I still want to read the manga just to get more content of her. Also, actually, I think she's, even though I can't count Man of Many Faces, I'm only allowed to count the anime, but even the anime, I love her in the anime. However, even in the anime she's older, but in Man of Many Faces, in the very beginning, she's actually 4 years old, and in Clamp's School Detective, she's 6, so yeah, I'm pretty sure out of all these girl characters on here, I think she's the youngest. Congratulations! Got the youngest anime girl out of the way. Although I don't know the oldest. Wait, give me a second. Misaka Mikado. It's hard for me to remember because there's so many characters with her name sounding similar. There's Mikasa from Attack on Titan, Misaki from another, and even her, and then Misaka Mikado. Which, again, there's no order exactly, so it's okay. But she's arguably my favorite character. She might be. Even though I love Shokuho. Whenever I say her name, it just sounds like it almost sounds like a move that Zero gets from the English announcer in X4. If anyone's played that and heard that voice of like, you got, what were some of the moves? Like, you got Raikuha, or Ryunjin. It just, when I say her name, it just sounds like a move that Zero just got in X4. You got Shokuho. Being silly now. But anyway, I like Misaka. I think just because it's like, you know, it's like she's a character that, you know, for her age, she likes stuff that's more targeted for little girls. And she's like one of the strongest characters in the series. Speaking of Misaki, she's coming up now. But yeah, she's on my love them tier. I recently colored Misaka. Didn't look good, but you know, better look next time. Alright, making some progress. Now I got Riza, which I was trying to find a picture of Riza, and then I saw her slurping some noodles, and I'm like, it's pretty good. I'll take it. And yeah, Riza. I really like Riza. I don't really have much. Some of these characters, I'm not really gonna have much to say about them. But just plain and simple, I just really like her. She's just a really cool character. She goes right here. You might think, like, really like... No, I definitely like Runri a lot more than her. And trust me, there's going to be some other Fullmetal Alchemist characters I'm going to like more than Riza. And then, oh my god, we got better than baby. We got the small baby here. We got small lady / Chibiusa / Usagi / Princess freaking ugh. Just so many names. So yeah, small lady. I've always, fun fact, I actually wasn't the biggest fan of her when I first read the manga, but then once I got to the 6th book, which was the 3rd arc, where Hotaru was introduced, Hotaru, I started to like her more and more, and by the time once I finished the whole manga series for the first time, I considered her my 3rd favorite character, and I knew I liked her a lot then because I actually had her for my phone background for some time, because there was one art I really liked of her. And, however, my love for her grew exponentially in the beginning of 2025 when she debuted, when I watched the anime, the 90s anime. And I actually like Small Lady in the anime more than the manga. Like, honestly, if this was... No. I would say, if this was manga Small Lady, then I would say she would be very high up on the love them tier. But this is anime Small Lady. Get the fuck up there. Why did the music stop? Why did the music Wait a second. Why'd the music stop? Oh, that's... It'll start soon. It's just that the song just... Damn it! Did you see anything? Okay, you're not really seeing anything. Back to this window. There we go. Alright, we're back. Alright, the song should start any minute, any second actually. So yeah, Small Lady is in my top 10, 100%. In fact, if I actually had to, I would go as far to say that she's actually, even in top 5, she really has impacted me a lot. Like, I have not liked an anime girl character this much, this consistently, in a long time. Like, specifically anime version. So yeah, Small Lady would absolutely be in my top 5 favorites. If not top 3. She's up there. And, you know, I've drawn her 3 times now, and even made some doodles of her, because she's actually one of the characters I want to make original poses of her the most. Anyway, moving on. Next up is Kaoru. Okay, so this one, okay, so I've only seen the first season of Kenshin, but she was my favorite girl character in the manga, and I really do like her in the anime, but this can change, this can absolutely change, but I've only watched the first season, so she's gonna be right here for just for now. She can be higher up, but yeah, just for now. Oh my god, I just looked up their names and I already forgot. In fact, a lot of these characters, several of these characters, I'm gonna have trouble remembering their names. Great! Well, this character's from Black Bullet. I remember liking her. I think it's a great show. I would say that she's not my favorite character. It's weird. I can remember the main guy character's name, which is Rintaro. Her name's kind of weird. She's also from Black Bullet. She could arguably be switched with other characters. And I'm not gonna say it because it's kind of weird. Actually, it's really weird. But the one thing that pushed me from even thinking about putting her on here is one scene of her in the last episode, and it was a specific, it wasn't a perverted shot or anything, but it was just a specific shot that she did. What do I mean by shot? I'm not gonna go into any more of it, but yeah, she can arguably be my top 100. And then her, what's weird is, even though there's a good amount of girl Hunter x Hunter characters, it's weird to think she's actually my favorite female character in that series. But if I had to say my favorite characters in Hunter x Hunter, she wouldn't even be in my top 5. There's just too many cool characters that are dudes. But to be fair, Yoshihiro Togashi is known for, just, my opinion, just making a lot of cool dudes. But yeah, I've always liked her. I don't know why. Just like her personality, her clothes. Really like her. However, I could arguably put her there. Yeah, I could arguably put her there. Again, I hate that. Is her name... I can't even remember. Is her name Cha-Cha? It's one of those examples where I just can't remember if her name is Cha-Cha. It might not even be. I don't even think that's her name. Again, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to remember names. I like her. She's adorable. Sorry, my brain is kind of freezing up for a bit. So I haven't finished all this anime. This is actually one series I watched twice. Like, I've had 2 sessions working on it, and I need to come back to it and continue watching it, because it's a really cute series. I think it's just hard for me to watch all of it because it's like over 70 episodes, and it doesn't really have it just doesn't have a plot that, it doesn't have an episodic story, so it's hard for me wanting to keep watching it. That was something I was worried about watching Gundam right now. I was worried if it wasn't going to be, I was worried if it wasn't going to have much of an episodic story, but it actually does. It's really good. Anyway, she goes into the really like. Also, I just realized up until this point, don't have much pretty or very cute. A lot of really like. Alright, next up is Marin Kitagawa. Well, speaking of me complaining about not having enough very cute characters so far, Marin is She's just a fun character. I love her personality, and she cosplays, and it's really cool. And she's also a Gyaru, but it's weird. It's like I'm so used to Gyarus just having very tan skin, but she's the kind of Gyaru that doesn't have the tan skin going, but she has the contacts, she has the, bleached hair, she has the, fake fingernails, and her personality kind of fits a little bit in that Gyaru territory. In fact, there's actually another Gyaru on here, on this tier. But yeah, she goes into the very cute. I really like her. Oh, great. Another character that is a bit of a controversial series. Not that controversial, just a teensy bit. Just a weird series, which I'll admit it is. Keiko from Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm not gonna lie. She's definitely a character that, oh god, there she is again. Well, I guess you can see what I meant by accidentally having more than one of the same character. I don't even know what to do with her. Let me check something. Can I? Can't be able to delete it. Well, she's give me a second. Oh my god, man, just stop being so precise. There we go. Alright, I moved her to the very bottom, so you don't have to keep seeing her, even though she's up here. So, yeah, Keiko is in the low tier, just because I do really like her, but definitely don't feel confident of her being in the top 100. But she has potential. I've already seen the whole series, but I don't know why I put her. I just really like Keiko. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. I'm sorry. But I really like her. She's a really cool character. Definitely, yeah, I put her up here. I always think about her whenever I think of Black Bullet. Shina from Saint Seiya. So, Saint Seiya, worth noting, Saint Seiya kind of aggravates me slightly for not having many very powerful girl characters. Although there is, what was her name? Is it Sayori or Sayori? She's actually considered to probably be the strongest character in Saint Seiya, or at least like one of the two strongest. But so aside from her, there's just not many strong girl characters really. Well, maybe in the manga. In the anime, they did at least have Hilda, which was the main antagonist in one of the filler arcs, and she was extremely powerful. I'm gonna assume that the music is just taking a while. But Shina is a strong character. She is. But I guess in terms of power, it's like there's different tiers. There's the Bronze Saints, the Silver Saints, and then the Gold Saints. The Gold Saints are just on a completely different level. It's like F-Zero logic. It's like the gap between easy and normal is only slightly harder. And just like with Silver Saints, they're like a little... They are a lot stronger than Bronze Saints, but only by like 5 times stronger. But then with Gold Saints, they're just like freaking thousands and thousands of times stronger. So, Shina is kind of like in the... She's like Silver Saint tier. Sorry, freaking music. Oh my god. This is a 7-minute long song, and the song is not going to play anymore, and there's still another 2 minutes. Sorry. But anyway, I like Shina. I don't know why I do. I just really love her design. And this might be a little weird one, but I really like how... It's gonna sound weird. Like I said, it's just designs is all. I like detailed lips. And she's got it. Now, with saying that, I don't know where I would put her. It's like, if she just, I don't know, if she like got stronger and became more of a viable character later in the series, then I would actually put her up here, but she does have a good part in the Poseidon storyline, which is cool, but once you get to the last chunk of the series, the Hades chapter, she has very little role, which is a shame. Ooh. There's the boy aaaaw. Aaaaw. It's pretty obvious where to put her. Although Baby will be upset about this. I love aaaaw. She's arguably my favorite, but I don't know. It's like a tie between another character, which foreshadow. Although someone will obviously know who it is. But I love aaaaw. I have a lot of personal liking to her for personal reasons. But of course, she has to be, I'm sorry, she has to be up here. You gotta understand, it's like I can only add 10 characters and she's just kind of at a disadvantage because of the fact that there's just a lot of characters that came before her. She's too new. But years from now, I think she could potentially be top 10, but yeah. But by all means, she's definitely like, if I had to have it in like order, she would be like really high up. In fact, I would actually go as far to say that aaaaw would be even above Hikaru. Anime Hikaru. If we're talking manga Hikaru, they're probably equal. Hotaru. Tomoe. Which is, I wonder if that is her last name, Tomoe, mommy. But Hotaru Tomoe. At one point, my favorite girl character in Sailor Moon, and is a fan favorite as well. I really love Sailor Saturn. Now, it's worth noting I haven't finished the anime yet, and you actually don't really see her as much in the anime. How do I put this? I'm kind of like cheating a bit because she actually wasn't in the 4th season at all, which really sucked, but she does show up for the 5th season, and I think for all of season 5, I don't know, but so I'm only kind of going off of the last 40% of season 3 with her. But even then, and again, I am kind of, well, I'm really cheating because I'm kind of like dripping some manga Hotaru into this, but yeah, I love Hotaru. I would say she's probably like my 2nd or 3rd favorite character in Sailor Moon. What's crazy is, in terms of personality types, her personality type is actually mine, I believe. I think so. Alright. Moving on, we have Misaki. What was her name? Mei Misaki? From the anime Another, which I didn't care for that anime at first, but then I rewatched it again and I thought it was great. But even before then, I always liked Misaki. This one's kind of hard. Because I have to accept that I would put her below the other characters. She's like peak for this, but for this tier, but I guess she could be up there. But again, like I said, this is still a compliment. It's still a big compliment to put them up here. It's a compliment for any of these characters to be on here, but it just becomes... yeah. Anyway, another... oh my gosh. I just did aaaaw, now I have to do another clone character. Conan. I have made that mistake so many times, it's not even funny. In fact, actually... what number is this? It's the third Conan character. So yeah, Makoto. I put it right here. I don't really have much to say, but I think Makoto was a character I grew to like over time. In the beginning, I liked her, but then I started to really, okay, I'm just joking and just making the joke about the name. Okay. Okay, this one's gonna be kind of weird, because out of all the anime girls on here, this next one is actually the newest one to be on here. Actually, yeah, it is. Yuzu from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, or Arc V or whatever. So, I don't think I said this, but, so the reason why I decided to watch Arc 5 for my second Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, I'm guilty. The main culprit is her. I guess when I found her on... where did I find her? I think I found her on Pinterest. I fell in love with her design. I just like her design so much. And even though I'm only like 20 episodes in, I really like her. Also, I gotta give respects the fact that, I don't know if the paper fan smacking is a trope, but of all the animes I've seen, I've only seen 2 anime characters that obsessively use the paper fan, and the other one is you're gonna see later on this tier. But she uses that paper fan a lot. And I'm not sure... oh crap, this is gonna ruin how it's looking. Everything's gonna stretch. But no, I really... like the fact that a character pushed me to the point where I wanted to skip 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Series just to see her. I think at the very least, it deserves this. I'm not putting her very cute because it's too early, but she has potential of being up here. But we'll have to see. Alright. Alright, moving on. This one's kind of crazy. Her name is Saya. Saya. Not Uta Saya, but Dagashikashi Saya. I actually argued on whether I should have her on here or Horta. Is that her name? Or Horta from... she's like the main character, also voiced by Yana Takatatsu, my favorite anime female actress. Still, I picked her just because even though they're both equal, even though both of them aren't on here, I like her because, I don't know, I find her very cute. I love her eyes. And for some reason, she just reminds me... I don't know, she just makes me think of Scarlet, my character, a little bit. I don't know why. I think one reason is because she's childhood friends with the main character, and you'll see this, but I have a thing for the main character and their childhood female friend. I am so into them getting together as a couple. I don't understand why, because a lot of people might think, but it'll ruin the friendship. True. I don't know why I was always into it. However, even though I'm saying all this stuff, she's a part of the pretty category. never seen the second season of Dakashi Kashi, even though I want to. But yeah, she could definitely be in my top 100. But, well, maybe not definitely, but it's just slightly. But she's down here. Revi. Man, I picked a really detailed picture. Ah, shit. I actually picked a manga picture of her. I was trying... Oh, man. I was trying to make sure I was picking anime pictures of these characters. I just ruined it. Whatever. It's still anime I'm referring to. But, okay, Revi. From Black Lagoon. Revi is absolutely my favorite character on there. And... yeah, she's cold. And I love her for it. But yeah, she goes up here. Alright, and then this character, I actually forgot. I didn't add her until very late into trying to find all the girl characters I wanted. This is Akira Mato from Tokyo Ghoul. And just like with the manga, like with Hinami, luckily they didn't mess up Akira's character in the anime. I think they're both equally good, but again, I do like her a bit more in the manga, but still. But I picked this picture because when I saw it, I was like, damn, she looks just like her father. And I love it when they actually, like, add, like, those certain details, because you can really tell that's his daughter. I really like Akira. She's my second favorite female character in Tokyo Ghoul, and top 5 in general. Really cool. Oh god, I just remembered. Okay, I think I remember her name. Yumiko from Fruticus Saya. Another late character, because I was contemplating whether or not she would even be on here. She is my... she's not my second favorite character, she's my third in general in that series, but you'll see my favorite later. She's a controversial one, and unlike... well, she's coming up right here, but unlike her, my favorite character in Grisaya is a controversial one to say she's my favorite. I won't say why, but she hasn't shown up yet. But yeah, Yumiko, I'll put it right here, because like I said, I was contemplating. If I have to contemplate, then yeah, they go into the bottom. Mikado Urabe. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that I'm saying their first and last name. Okay, I'm gonna say this now. Urabe, years ago, for I think the 2018 to like 2024, for the longest time, she was actually in my top 5 favorite female anime characters. Crazy. And you might ask, why? I don't know. I really don't know. I think for one reason, I love the voice actor for her. I watched the Japanese version. Her voice was not what I expected. She had a mature girl voice, and I found it very fitting. I really like the art design. That's another thing. Her eyes are covered a lot of the time. I like her black-blue hair. I like her personality. I like a lot of stuff about her. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I want to put her in the top 10. I still love her, but it would just be kind of strange. It's been too long. I've only seen the series once. It's really hard to say. Now, I will say this, if I finish this tier list, and if I haven't reached 10 characters confidently, then I'll just take whatever characters up here that would, be, like, top, love them, and just put them at the top. How's that sound? Because, I could argue Hikaru, I could argue Ayu, they could be at the very top, but I'm just not sure yet. That's why I'm saying they're, like, peak. So it's kind of hard to say, but I'm just going to put her right here. She could arguably be up here. but I'm not 100% sure. I would say if I don't reach 10, and if some of the other characters I add, like aaaaw and Hikaru up there, and there's still another slot, and I can't think of any other characters, then fine, she'll go up here. But for now, she's right there. However, one character is going to be at the very top, and that is Akemi Homura. I'm sorry for knowing the first and last names of these characters. Akemi Homura. For pretty much since I watched this anime in 2015, she has always been my second favorite anime character. I don't know now, like I do like her slightly less because just a teensy bit less. However, she still, of course, is one of my favorite characters ever. Well, anime girls specifically. Cow! 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 Bonk. But yeah, she's up there. And look at that, already half filled with my absolute favorites. And we still have a lot to go. How many is left? Let me try to count real quick. Damn, it's 40? I'm not even halfway done yet. How much time are we in? Oh, it's like an hour and 17 minutes. Damn. Oh, this might be a 2.5 hour video. Well, I did have a long introduction, but still. Oh, I love this song. This is actually my top 10 favorite songs I found last year. Could never get enough of it. Anyway, Yoruichi. She's not my favorite Bleach character, but I freaking love her. She's such an awesome character. I won't say much, but I really can't say anything other than that she's just an amazing character. I love her design, I love her personality. She's a very strong character, and even though I haven't gotten far in, I haven't gotten to like the last third of the manga, which I know I'm not counting the manga, but the anime is adapted to the manga for the most part. But even still, she definitely goes up here. Alright, Sango. My second favorite girl character in Inuyasha. I really like Sango. I don't know why I can't really describe her. She's kind of one of those girl characters. She's one of those characters that it's too specific and might be a little weird, but I really like Sango. But how much is the question? This one's actually a tough one again. She can go either or. Okay, first I need to compare her to all the characters in this row. This one's extremely tough. Okay. Alright, she goes right here, but me saying that, she's like pretty much peak tier right here. Alright. Kaguya from Love is War. Just to do real quick, yeah, she's on the pretty tier because she was like one of the last ones I added because I just could not. There's just too many like characters that could have been on here, so I was just like, fine, I'll just add her because I like her. Again, I really like these characters, but there are other characters that could have obviously, arguably taken their place. And also they're like at the, bottom. Alright, Asuna from Sword Art Online. Even though I only watched the first arc and then like a few episodes into the second arc in 2015, very early 2015, I actually had a bit of a crush on her. This music, but I really like her. But I would put her right here because I absolutely put her in my top 100, but she's not that high up. But she goes right there. Yukina. Yukina! Yukina! If I had to, out of all these anime characters, if I had to have a top 10 on most adorable, most innocent and adorable, no, top 5, no, top 3, okay, maybe not top 3, but top 5, she would probably be in the top 5 most innocent and adorable characters on here. And just to say to my friend, she's from Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, she's from Yu Yu Hakusho, and I think you would really like her. Just note she's not a major character. Yeah, she really isn't, sadly. She's not really a major character. You only really see her for a certain chunk of the series, but she's just one of those characters that it's like, you're just a complete big bastard if you try to, hurt the feelings of an innocent angel like this. Although she's not an angel, she's actually a demon, but... And then I put her in the really light tier. I swear, if there was just more of her, she could have been up here. Maybe not up here, but she could have absolutely been up here if there was just more of her. So she's only there for that reason, but she's definitely on here. Sayaka from, guess what? Monoga Magica. It's the third character from Monoga Magica now. Sayaka. Out of the 5, she's probably my second least favorite of the 5. But I do really like her. And out of the 5, she probably feels the most relatable to me. Just from the series interactions. That was so stupid. Anyway, Nia. Nia's another character that I would put her like top 10 most innocent and adorable characters. She's actually one of the biggest inspirations for the creation of my character Iris. The main character, well, not the main character, the main girl character in Core Psyche. She's actually one of the characters I took huge inspiration from, just because she was just, an adorable, sweet, brave girl. And because of that, you know what, kind of like with Akko, for impact's sake, I would put up here. She would be more, I would say she's more right here, but for how much she impacts me, she goes up here. Nia. And now we have, give me a minute, Videl. Now Videl, this is kind of a strange thing. Now, I have to count Videl in general. If Videl was, if Videl kept her design like this, if she kept this design and was, kicking ass consistently throughout the series into adulthood, oh yeah, she would be up here. I love this design of her so much. I love the pigtails, I like the clothing, I like the shoes, the fingerless gloves. I love her design a lot. Plus, the Japanese voice actress is the same voice as Hotaru. But sadly, she goes right here. I almost want to put her up here, but I just can't. Really, the only time that she's at her peak is like the first small chunk of the Boo saga when she's introduced. Once she cuts her hair, oh man, it went from like a 10 in design to like a 7. Oh shoot! Don't you dare rewind. Dang it, you saw a glimpse of the second row. Shit. Don't rewind. Don't ruin the mystery. Dang it. It's because there's always something. My finger is just getting bored and it's like wants to mess with something. I keep messing with the wheel. Alright. Anyway, Nao Tomori, which my last color drawing was of her, and I don't want to be weird, but this is happening with Shokuho again. I literally can't. Let's just say I was gushing about her for like half an hour last week. Yep, she's in the absolute favorites. She was another character that I definitely put her in my top 10 years ago. I rewatched the anime again last year and I was just reminded even more why I like her so much. She's probably one of the only anime characters in general, or specifically girls. She's one of the only, I don't want to say if not the only one on here, but she's one of the only characters that her personality is just the most realistic in a certain sense. I don't want to go into it. I could go on about her for like half an hour, but I love her design. I love her personality. I love her character. I just love so many things about her. She absolutely is on the very top. Alright, next up, I'm so sorry, but I have not seen this anime in 12 years, and I keep going. Honestly, I can't even remember any of the names from Lucky Star. But the reason why she's on here is because I remember she was my favorite. And I do really like Lucky Star. And yeah, I absolutely put her on here. Just really like, man, it sucks. There's so many. I didn't realize that there would have been so many girls just in the really like tier. Dang. Kinda. Oh man. Trying to think, like, are there other characters that could go higher? But no. Looking at all these characters and then comparing it to these characters, yeah, I don't really think so. I'll have to think about it more. Anyway, now we have Kaga Kogo? I think that's her name. Coco, I'll just say Coco. So, she, the Japanese voice actress of her, did the voice of, well, her. Right next to her. She also did the same voice for Ayu. She's from the anime Golden Time. I'm not really naming the animes for some of these series. Like Nia's from Gurren Lagann. Charlotte, stuff like that. So she's from Golden Time, and I don't know why I really liked her. She's a rich girl, and I feel like some people might not really like her, but I remember really liking her. She's a very beautiful character. Look, I'm allowed to say because she's a college student. Shoot. God, you're gonna see this one. She goes right here. Yeah, she's right. Yeah, you can see her now. Alright, Yuki. This is gonna be a crazy one. Okay. Yuki Cross from Vampire Knight. Okay, so I don't like the anime near as much as the manga. And this, even though I do like Yuki, crazy enough, she actually could arguably not be in my top 100. This was manga Yuki, yes, but this is anime Yuki, so she could be in the bottom. But we have Misuzu. I don't want fucking lyrics in my video. Wait a minute, did not go back to the tier. There we go. Another Grandia song. Actually, this is a sad song. So, Misuzu, from Air. I rewatched Air again this year, and oh my gosh, she's just so freaking adorable. Top 5 innocent, adorable characters. No question. Yeah, she goes up here. I really like Misuzu. Dorothy! It's green! Except it's red. Alright, so this is another character from Anazukin Cha-Cha. She might arguably be my favorite character, because I remember when I first watched it, I thought she was very pretty. And, one reason is, well, weirdly enough, you're not really seeing it for the most part, because aside from Hikaru, all the other characters don't really have red hair. Heck, even on this row, there's not really red hair. Like, heck, there's more pink than red. However, I have a thing for redheads. What the? Well, what I meant is, I really like girls with red hair a lot. And Dorothy has red hair, even though there were parts in her past where her hair was actually blonde, but I love the red hair. However, because I haven't gotten far in Cha-Cha, and you actually do see her a good amount. Sadly, she kind of goes right here, but she definitely could. I would say she's more likely to be on here than... Actually, no, she's gonna blow us for these characters, sadly, but I do really like her. Toga. What's her name? Himiko Toga. From My Hero Academia. The Yandere girl. Actually, speaking of Yandere, we got another Yandere coming up. But, yeah, Toga. Toga's, actually, there's 2 My Hero Academia girls on here. I don't know who would be my favorite, but I really like Toga. But not that much. So she goes up there, which is right here. Now we get Chi-Chi. Okay, so similar to Fidel, but not as bad. I pretty much like Chi-Chi up until the Boo Saga, because I just think her design is great. For Dragon Ball, the end of Dragon Ball, which is her in this one, beginning of Z, middle of Z, but then by late Z, and then just from that point onward, I just don't like her as much, because really it's just the design for half the reason. So, well, honestly, she's a character I could arguably not have on here, but I really like Chi-Chi. Alright, next up is Ami. Ami Mizuno, maybe? That's her last name? I can't remember. From Sailor Moon. And as you can see, because of Makoto, yes, Sailor Moon is one of the series that has 5 characters that I had to put on here. So... hearing this song is bringing back memories from last year. But yeah, Ami. Yeah, I really like Ami. She's like my 4th favorite character in Sailor Moon. In fact, I actually like her more in the anime than I do in the manga. Crazy enough. Because I already like her a lot. Oh, shoot. But I already like her a lot in the manga, but I actually like her even more in the anime. So, she definitely can go up here. I wouldn't put her up here. But she goes up here. Inori from Guilty Crown. I keep wanting to say Guilty Gear sometimes. Yeah, Inori. This is, now, if you remember, if you've seen my anime tier list, Guilty Crown is actually one of my favorite animes ever. I've seen it almost twice. And, in fact, I remember putting Inori, like, top 15 to even top 20 favorite anime girl characters. But I'll admit, I don't know why. Maybe I have to watch it again, because I remember really liking Inori. But I think I liked her more than I did because I loved Guilty Crown. She's my favorite character on there. Well, actually, I don't know. Might be my favorite, second favorite. Now, even so, the problem is I just can't remember. So because of it, she goes right here. Didn't matter. Even if I liked her as much as I did then, she would more just be in this tier. But yeah, she goes right there. I think that's fitting. Oh shoot. Both Pokemon characters. Fairy left and right. Also just give me a little break. I'm sorry. Just need to drink some water because I've been doing this for like an hour and a half. But I'm not gonna pause it. I'll be back in like a minute, so just enjoy the music. Alright, I'm back. Let me just check if everything's looking okay. Everything looks like it's doing fine. Why are you showing Hourglass? Anyway, let's continue. Just need to drink some water and have a little bit of a snack, though it tastes like shite. Alright, let's continue. Next up is May. This was kind of hard because I wasn't sure if I should add any Pokemon characters, especially ones that were originated in a game, but it's fine because it's their own adaptation and we can allow that. So I added May on here. There's not many Pokemon characters, actually it's just 2, so you already see the 2, even though one of them was kind of arguable. But I had a crush on May when I was like 6 to 10 years old. I had a huge crush on her, and what do you know, she wears gloves. Not fingerless gloves, but still gloves. I just watched Battle Frontier so much, and she had a huge part in that one because of a lot of pageant, I don't know if pageant's the word, like talent show tournaments, like with her. So, you know what, I would go as far because I would say for how much she might be weird to put her that high up, but in a childhood way, yeah, I could put her that high. Alright. Alright, just to say in a funny way. Well, not in a silly way, no, I'm being serious, but how many dark-skinned girls are here? How many have we done so far? We got one, got another one coming up. Pink skin doesn't count. Alright. Next up is Fu, which Fu kind of surprised me when watching Ray Earth, because I like Fu, I do. I really like Fu in the manga. But I was really surprised how much I like her more in the anime. Unlike Hikaru, where I like her a bit less than in the manga, Fu, I like her considerably more in the anime. It's mainly just because, you know, I think it's just because not only I actually like her design more in the anime than in the manga, while with Hikaru, I like them equally. If I had to choose, maybe the manga a little more, but with Fu, I like her design more in the anime, and I just like the voice actress for her, and her original, well, I can't really say original, but I don't know, it just, Fu, there was just a lot of good content with Fu, so I surprisingly liked her a lot. I actually, even right now, want to make a drawing of her. So, I would actually put her right here. I would actually put her in the very cute tier. Just like her alone just made me want to come back to the series for some reason. Like, you know, like right now, I meant. Dang, I have to keep, like, adjusting it. Oh, here's another dark-skinned girl. I think, why are you saying that? I'm not saying it in an offensive way or anything. I think dark-skinned anime girls are cool. Yunogasai. Ooh. Okay, so she's one of those characters that I, on one hand, think I like her a lot, but then at the same time, I have to remember some of the things she did that made me kind of hate her. So she's like, I don't know. She's like the definition of yandere. Like, you type in yandere girl, like you type in yandere anime girl, she's gonna pop up. She's like the first one. She's from the anime The Future Diary. And, yeah, she's, pretty crazy. But even still, weirdly enough, it's so weird, but I actually put her up here. She could probably be down here, but I don't know why. I did watch it a second time and I liked her more, so it's complicated. Like, now thinking about more things, I'm okay with this. Oh no. Okay, first of all, I can't even remember her name, which I feel horrible. Because I remember actually putting her, like, in the top 15. She's from the anime Plastic Memories. She's a very cute character. Although it's kind of hard to remember everything with her. Sadly, she goes right here. Again, once I finish, I'm probably going to have to organize it a bit to think about what is the lowest for this and the highest for this. But, okay. Oh my gosh, it's like I remembered her name recently, but I keep wanting to call her Momo, but she's not Momo. It's a different character in the show called that. But what was her... what's her name? Oh crap, it's like the name... There's like a way for me to remember her name. Dang it, I can't remember her name. It's like 4 letters. It's like I remembered it recently, but now I can't remember. Her name just... After watching the whole series, it's just... her name just keeps slipping, which is fitting because her ability is slime. But she's from My Hero Academy. Oh shoot. I just remembered something I was thinking about earlier, because I was trying to look at all the anime girl characters and I was asking myself something, and now I forgot that she has to be added for that. I guess. Alright, this one I'm gonna feel bad about. Oh man, alright. Yes, Clarion from Pandora and the Crimson Shell. I'm gonna feel bad for this one, and I'm gonna look at her. I'm gonna look at the other characters. Yeah, alright. Now, if this was manga Clarion, she would actually be a lot lower, because this is going off of the anime that's based off the first arc, and which is the arc that I like her the most. Okay, maybe not that high, but right here. If you weren't around with my channel in like, what, 2022, 2023? Yeah, like I think it was like 2022, 2023. I had her as my profile picture on YouTube, and I changed it multiple times. I was just like, she was actually the first character that I changed my profile picture on YouTube that wasn't Zero. And even now, I still have a profile picture of her for one of my accounts. Not YouTube, just something else. But I've just, pretty much the two, well, I guess the 3 main reasons why I liked her so much is because, 1, I love her design. It's like a 9.5 out of 10. 2, I like her personality. She kind of follows the same, like, very cold-hearted because she's a robot. And the 3rd reason is that she's actually very strong. But yeah, I really like Clarion a lot. She's up here. But I do feel bad because this series definitely has like a weird thing that happens, and it's one of those things where it's like you could literally just remove it from the series and nothing would change. And it's just very strange. Even though she's a robot, still bizarre. Anyway, now is Shiori from Kanon, which my friend might be a little surprised because I said that she's my least favorite of the 5. Yeah, she's my least favorite of the 5. Actually, now I think about it. Oh my god, I just realized something. There's actually one series that has 6 girls from one series on this list. I forgot I added her. Holy crap. Well, out of the 5 main girls, she's my least favorite. But I still think she's a great character. I still really like her. I really do. However, yeah, you know, she could... No, she goes right there. I can't. I'm thinking of that one scene with her, and I'm just like, no, I can't. I feel bad. You go up there. Okay. But I like Shiori. Izumi, both Brotherhood and 2003 version, I like them equally. Their roles are actually pretty different. I won't go into any spoilers, but I like in both ways, in different ways. Yeah, I actually put Izumi up here. I definitely do. I actually, I actually had a slight crush on her when I read the manga. I don't know why, I just did. So yeah. Makoto from Sailor Moon. That one's another easy one. Makoto goes all the way up here. Even though I was contemplating on putting her on here, but that was only because I was questioning on capping the numbers for like no more than 3 girls per series, but then I was like, you know what, screw it, I should have as many good ones as I want. So I decided to put Makoto on here. So Makoto is in the very cute Lanfan. Another slight crush on her. Not as much of a crush as like Winry or even Izumi, but Lanfan, she's just adorable. But even saying that, she goes on the just pretty. I could arguably switch her. I don't know. She's just on there. Okay. How many is up there? We only have 4 more slots left. Slots. Condiment. Oh my gosh. Oh crap. Oh crap. I didn't. Okay. Condiment Chidori from. I almost said Sailor Moon. Full Metal Panic. You know what? Oh man. See, she was another character that I put like at least my top 15 favorite anime girl characters years ago. Damn it. I think I have to put her up there. I think I have to, because I'm like thinking of her in the series and she's just really funny, and she's just one of those characters that kind of breaks that annoying. She's one of the only girl characters, if not the only girl character on here that just like, it just kind of breaks that wall of like trying to make these girls come off as perfect. Like they don't piss, they don't shit, they don't have periods. You know, they have to come off as cool or, like adorable or just anything. And I ranted about this a few days ago but Chidori is like one of the only characters that breaks that wall. And just to name one example, in Fullmetal Panic Fumofu, there's a part where she's in a good mood. She's just smiling, and like, you know, Sakura is just like kind of scared because I can't remember, it's like he wanted to ask for her notes, but he was like dreading to ask her, and he was like just preparing for the worst, and she was like, oh yeah, sure, just make sure you bring it back tomorrow for school. And then she just walks away smiling, and Sakura's like, I didn't expect her to react like that. And then her friend, Chidori's friend, was like, oh, it's like, oh, I'm guessing her constipation is finally went away. It's like, I've never heard an anime girl character that was having constipation, or even having constipation. And I swear to God, that one statement just puts her up there. It's so stupid, but it just makes her feel, it just doesn't feel like they're scared to acknowledge that. It makes me like them more. It's weird, but I really hate it when it just seems like they don't. Same thing with periods. I'm not gonna say anymore because it's weird to talk about this, but alright. Man, it's like it's way after midnight. But yeah, she's up there. How many slots do we have now? We have 7? Cool. It's gonna go to 8 right now, I'm sorry. Damn it. Alright, so Kazumi. Oh. Kazuki Kazumi. I'm not gonna... If you know, you know. I'm not gonna say some of the... Like, if you know Fruit Grisaya, if you've watched it, you know... I am so sorry, but yeah, she has been like one of my favorites since I watched the anime in 2018. She has been like in my top 10 for almost 8 years. It's crazy how I just back-to-back top tiers. But I won't say anything, but the only thing I'll say is that her personality type is the same as my... Wait, why am I saying my? Can the music play? I hate that I keep doing this, sorry. Is it the same thing again where okay, the song now. Wait, oh shoot, I keep forgetting because I have to go back to this tab or else you're just gonna see freaking, what do they call it? Motion capture? Anyway, but no, she has the same direct type as, like, my... Why am I saying my weird? Oh, this happened one time. Or, like, Misaki. I forget, Misaki has the same Dera type where they just kind of come off as very cold, but they are sweet. Same thing with Clarion, which I guess that kind of proves that I really do like that Dera type because some very high ones are on the top. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that I would put her in my top 10. I don't know why I love her so much, but I just do. But yeah, she's probably the most, honestly, even more, honestly, even more than Akko. She's probably just as, I think she's just as controversial, if not more controversial, for me to put her this high up. all I'll say is that it's just one thing she did when she was a kid, and that the specific thing that she did a lot is the very controversial thing. I won't say what she did, but it's let me just mention that Fruit Grisaya is a very mature, it's a very dark series. A lot of the messed up elements to it kind of feels like one of those series where it just feels like you want to make all these characters have such a messed up or just traumatizing backstory. And it's one of those series. It's a very traumatic series. So if you know, anyway, but yeah, she's up there. Anyway, Cynthia, I was contemplating for Cynthia to be on here because I love Cynthia, but I only really got to see her in black and white. But I like Cynthia a lot. She's one of my favorite Pokemon human characters. I actually had a big crush on her in my teens. I don't know, would I put her up here? You might think it would be weird to put her there. Alright, I'm very sorry, but I'm gonna put her right here. She can definitely be a lot higher. But the only reason why she's not going any higher is just fuck it, you go up here. Alright, moving on. I'm cheating because I'm going into the assumption because you see her in the 4th generation and you also see her a good amount in the last generation with Ash, and if she's as cool as she is in the 5th generation, like, she's one of the strongest characters in the Pokemon universe. Her design is like, again, a 9.5. Her design's amazing. She has a great personality. There's just all this stuff, so I'll just put her right here. She could definitely be higher, but I've only seen a little bit of her, so she can't go any higher, sorry. Shizu from Yu-Gi-Oh! Dang it, I picked the manga picture again. Damn it! But yeah, this is a Shizu. I actually question if I should have added Mai on here. She's definitely a character that could have arguably been on this tier list, but if I did, she would have probably been down here. But I loved Mai because her design is awesome. But Shizu's my favorite girl character on there. I love Shizu's design. I think she's very pretty. And also one of the strongest characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, she was pretty much almost going to beat Kaiba, which is like... I would put Kaiba like top 4, top 3 strongest Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters in the original series. And the fact that she almost beated him just because she has a broken ability. I would say this, if there was a lot more to her, I would say if there was a lot more to her, I would put her higher, but I feel comfortable just putting her right here. She's very cool. Nagatoro, okay, that's her name. I remember I was trying to think of her name. Why did I have to pick that picture? I'm so dumb. Oh yeah, it's because you can't see. Actually, does she? I think she has the Fang. So this is an anime I watched in early 24. Yeah, I would put her right here. I could arguably switch her, although I was interested in making a drawing of her back in February. Man, I swear, early 2024, more like the first half of 2024 was just a very, just a unique time that I don't know could ever be replicated. That's why certain series just kind of give me a weird feeling. Not a bad one. Alright. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. But she's from Comet Lucifer. Same thing. I could arguably not have her on this list. The only reason why I did is because I didn't take inspiration of her, but I just thought it was really cool that her development as a character reminded me a lot of Iris, where in the very beginning she's like not a little kid, but she's like a kid, and then over the course of this, you know, like a kid that can't really talk, and then over the course of the series she matures to being like looking like a teen and being able to talk. And I guess I thought that was cool. So she's up there. This one's a little bit of a surprise. Tsunade. I say it's a bit of a surprise because I was really in the expectation. It's funny how she's like, looks like she's poking from the side on the very right. Oh, they're, wow, two Kyoto together. But I'm chewing. Man, I used to love these as a kid. It tastes like chemicals now. It really does. But yeah, Tsunade, strangely, is the only Naruto character on her, which I know Hinata fans are going to be pissed about that, which she arguably could have been on here, but she just never really had a massive or like really major part in the story. There was really only like 2 major moments with her. If there was more, then she could be on here, but even her, you know, being a part of the pretty category, I don't think even then she could have. Like, I liked her, but I didn't like her that much. Although Tsunade, on the other hand, oh yeah, I had a crush on her when I watched Naruto as a kid. And when I found out that she was like in her 50s, that didn't really change anything. Worth noting, you might think, oh, so she's kind of, you know, teensy bit. Well, no, it's, I guess the in-universe explanation is because that blue diamond, I don't know if you can see it, she makes herself look younger, makes herself look half the age that she is, and when, I guess, all of that drains, like if she runs out of chakra, she actually reverts to her actual age. However, because of her trying to make herself look younger, it's actually caused her true form, her true looks to look older than 50. Like, her skin actually looks more like in her 80s. But I still love her. She's one of those rare girl characters that she's very powerful, but not in a sense of like what's a good example? Actually, now that I think about it, I just realized a lot of these girl characters on here are like physically strong. Like Revi and Shina, Inami, Yuichi. But yeah, Tsunade is like a very physically strong character. And she has like a lot of really good moments. Where would I put her actually? I guess maybe right here. I guess I put her right there. Like, I contemplate if she could be up there, but maybe not. First this was starting to fill up, but now this is starting to fill up a lot of characters. Just keep adding on here. Alright, next up is Aoi from Ayoriashi. She's my second, if not my favorite character. I kind of tie her with Miyabi, so because of it, I do put her right here. And then we have Keiko, which, I actually do like more than Mami and Sayaka. Plus, I love her weapon. But you know what, even still, I actually would still put her down here. I put her above those two, but she's close to being up here, but not enough. Oh shoot, are they getting... yeah, I think they are. Are they getting a little tiny? I don't know, they're getting more tiny. And oh crap, it's gonna get to the point where if it does it if it does it 2 more times, it's not gonna be able to fit this whole screen with them. Okay. Next up is Yoko, which I actually you know, now thinking about it, she's from Gurren Lagann. I was actually contemplating whether she would even be on here, and because I'm saying that, you would think she would be a part of the pretty tier. But... I actually had a slight crush on her. And I do really like her design. Yeah... I don't know. I don't... I guess right there. A lot of people, I imagine, would be pissed. People love her. You are Serafu. A pun to yourself. So this is from the... this is the main character from the anime Do It Yourself. I remember really liking this character a lot when I first watched it. It's a really good show, but I really loved this character. How much exactly? Okay, I'm having trouble again. I would... she's kind of like... a bit tricky. Maybe right here. But I really like this character a lot. But I feel like she kind of fits more right here. However... Nagisa from Clannad. Nagisa is just a big ol' sweetheart. Even though she's not my favorite character in Clannad. Only by a slight amount. But I love Nagisa. She is just... she's just so freaking sweet. Get up there, girl. And then, okay, Lust. So I have to say this. This isn't Lust from Brotherhood, and I even wanted to make sure to get a picture of the specific version. Not Lust from the 2009, the 2009 version. Lust from the original Fullmetal Alchemist. She is definitely one of my, like, high up on my favorite anime girls. Now, if we're talking about Lust in Brotherhood, I don't think I would even put her on here, to be honest. She's just kind of... she's cut off too quick. However, in the 2003 version, I won't say any spoilers, but she is way better, and I like her design more. Just the little details I really like Lust a lot more in the 2003 version. So much so that... Oops. Let me think about it. Now, I recently watched the 2003 version, so I might be slightly biased. I'm just having a look at these characters. Again, I'm kind of going back and forth with this. If so, then she's barely on here. Ruri from... I'm not gonna say the name because I'm always butchering that last word. Okay, fine, I'll try. Martian successor, Nadesisko... whatever. She was actually... I actually forgot, she was actually the character that made me find the series. It's really good. But I'll admit, I kind of got bored of it towards the end. But it was still really good. And Ruri, again, another Dira type, like, you know, her, just show little emotions, but they're sweet. Yeah, she's a little too new. There is a movie where she seems like to have a big role, so maybe I could change my mind. Anya, or Lucy, I'm counting them as the same character, kind of cheating a little bit. So... pretty much she has... Anya is like the adorable, innocent side, and then Lucy is like the more violent side. And this is going to be one of those examples like Nia or Kotora. Well, more like Kotora. I first watched Elfen Lied. I remember I first watched Elfen Lied and finished it shortly before my granny passed away. So whenever I think of Elfen Lied, I think of her and when she died. Yeah. So I guess because of that, I do put her all the way up there. I could put her higher, but it's just been so long since I've seen the anime, so it's hard to say. Sorry, it's doing it again. I don't know what's going on. The music stopped. Oh, that's why. It just wasn't playing any music for a while. Oh, Ray Earth music. Alright, moving on. There shouldn't be a lot. There shouldn't really be a whole lot left. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right off the bat, that's 55. And then 56, 57, 58, 59, 61, 62, 63, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay, 82. So I have 82. So I only have 18 characters left. So there's not really many characters left. Alright. Next up we have Lane. This one's gonna be a little strange. Yeah, this one's gonna be a little strange. Give me a minute to think about this. Okay, this one's gonna be a bit strange, but I actually put her up here. I would put her up here. I haven't finished the anime because I never watched the last like 3 episodes, but again, kind of like with Anya, it was just a specific point in my life, and when I think about her, it's just a specific feeling. So she's up there. Maybe barely, but she's up there. Setsuna, or Sailor Pluto. Definitely the least favorite of the 5 Sailor Moon characters on here. Oh, there she is. However, and again, you know, well, actually no, you did see her a bit in the 2nd season, and there's season 3. I would put her on here. I wish I could like her more, but just a couple of minor things. Nayuki. Yeah, I know you're probably a little like, about it. You know who you are. Quit your pouting. They're both close to each other. So Nayuki could arguably be my favorite Kanen character. It's hard to say because I like Aaaaw and Nayuki for like different reasons. But I can't really say who's my favorite. They're kind of a tie, but yeah, Nayuki is definitely, she's definitely up here. She's really high up there. Like, she is like close to being top 10, but no. But I would say yeah, she's up here. And then speaking of another, speaking of characters I love, we got Kotomi, which is, I'll say it, she's my favorite Clannad character. In fact, she was I actually put her in my top 10 years ago. Top 10 favorite characters. Now, does that mean she is? Does that mean she's up here? I don't know. You see, this is one of those characters where, unlike, Nao and Chidori and Kazuki, where my liking of them has kind of stayed the same. The problem with Kotomi is that it's been a while since I watched Clannad. And you know what, that is the issue. That is the issue because, let me put it back real quick. I've seen Charlotte twice, I've seen Fullmetal Panic twice, and I've seen Fruit of Grisaia twice. So my feelings of them is more fresh and concrete. I've only seen Clannad once, so it's hard to say my feelings with her. So because of it, I have to put her here. She could be up here, but it's just too blurry for me to, because I would put Kotomi around the same level as, like around the same as these two, but at the same time, because I recently watched this, I feel like I like these characters more than Kotomi. But I don't know. It's just been too long. I really need to watch Clannad again. Also, I think this might be the last row because you're going to see Akko again. So yeah, this is the rest of them. How much time has passed? 2 hours and 25 minutes. Oh man. This is what I get for talking too much. Alright, so Takamoto. Alright, I'll just say now she's down here. I contemplate on whether she's on here. But she, you know, well, she's tan because she goes out in the sun a lot, and she's a redhead. As soon as I brought up darker skin, red hair. Damn. Alright. Alright, fine, she goes up there. Cosmo from Sonic X. Now, you might think, it's like, okay, you're allowed to count, you know, anime adaptations for video games. So where's Amy? I just didn't want to count her for some reason. She definitely would be up here, but I just didn't want to. But Cosmo, she's an anime exclusive, so I had to add her. Plus, I actually had a slight crush on her when I was a kid. And for some reason, when I was a kid, I thought Cosmo was a boy because of Cosmo from Very Odd Parents. For some reason, I thought Cosmo was a boy name, and Cosmo had to have been a boy, even if Cosmo sounded like a girl. And because of the whole love, like romance connection with Tails and Cosmo, I actually thought either Tails was a girl or I thought Tails was a boy and there was a romance between two boys. It was so confusing. But I guess with because of my history with Sonic X, I actually put her in the very cute. I really like her. Oh man, Sayori. Oh, Sayuri. She's, yeah, the sixth and final conning character. See, I really liked her, but I grew to like her even more when I found out she's a Taurus, and that she has voiced a lot of characters I really like. I mean, a lot. So because of that, because of those two things, I actually put her in the very cute tier. And great, now I can't even freaking see them. Oh, now I can't even see the top tier anymore. But luckily, I don't think it's going to overlap anymore. I don't think so. Alright, next up is Tina. I almost said her last name. Nothing. So anyway, Tina. I know her last name, but I'm not gonna say it. So yeah, from Ayurioshi. Again, just like with the other two characters, I like the manga more, which means I like the characters more, but, out of the three, she is my least favorite of the three. But, you know, she could arguably be on here. And Tsumiki, which, another character that I think a few years ago, she was like, I don't think top 15, I mean, I don't think top 10, but like top 15, yeah. Which is gonna be weird to say, but yeah, she actually goes up here. I love Tsumiki, she's so adorable. And see, it's weird for me to say that. I'm kind of having to tell myself, so you like her more than these characters? Yes. Albeit that's painful to say. Alright, moving on, there's Madoka from Madoka Magica. Yeah, she goes up here. It's funny. Ever since I made that story where I said that I'm not a big fan of her, I was more just referring to at the time where it's like, you know, I have to really, really, really like a character enough to, like, want to say happy birthday, but by this point, if I just, I don't know, it doesn't matter anymore. If I want to, I will. But yeah, she's up here. And now we have Orihime, which, this one's gonna be a hard one. And again, manga. I said the manga again. Both Bleach characters Now, Yoichi and Orihime, I think, are like almost close to a tie, but here's the problem. We're talking. Here's the issue. We're talking about anime Orihime. I'll admit, if this was manga Orihime, she might actually be in my top 10. But because this is anime Orihime, she's a little worse for specific reasons. But even still, she absolutely goes into the lovedom. Like, she was actually one of the girls like Nia. She was one of the main inspirations that grew the character Iris for me. So she definitely deserves to be up there. And then, finally, going to the other darling, the France character, 02. Yeah, 02. She reminds me of Amber a little bit, which is what made me grow to like her more over time. Yeah, she's a very cool character. I don't know how high I would put her, but I think I'm more comfortable putting her right here. Even though I did kind of put her like in my top 20 a few years ago, so she could almost even be up here. But again, it's been a while. I've only seen it once. So I would say she's like peak, but I don't know. Also, I feel bad. I can't remember her name. She's one with the dongle legs from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I decided to add her and not Aoi because you don't see Aoi much. So even though I like Aoi's design more, personality-wise, I think she's just as cute. Even though I'm not a fan of her hair, it looks like her freaking fringe just been chopped off. But she is still adorable. I love her freaking dongle legs. So yeah, she goes right here. Mikasa. Alright, so Mikasa is interesting. She was, fun fact, she was actually my 5th favorite anime girl for years. And you might think, oh, so that means she's in your top 10. Not anymore. I like her a lot less now. Even saying that, I do put her, I still love her. It's just because, you know, first of all, I never finished the anime. I never did finish the anime, so who knows, if I did watch all of it, she might be my top 10. It was just back then I liked her more. But she's more like here now. Alright, we're almost done. Got La Brava from My Hero, which she did the voice of Ayu. And some of the other characters I already mentioned. I don't want, like, scroll through my eyes. But, yeah, La Brava goes into really, like... You know, I'm not surprised that most of the girls on here was in the middle. Just 8 and 8.5s. Because I'm picky with the high tier ones and, you know... And then you got Melfina. Man, okay, Melfina's gonna be a hard one, actually. Because she's my favorite character in Outlaw Star. Okay, this is gonna be an extremely specific reason, but it's only because she could be in the very cute, but the main reason is because she is a bio-android, and what I loved about that was, up until Outlaw Star, I never came across a character quite like her, and probably I remember that most of the episodes in Outlaw Star kind of goes into like this history description, And probably my favorite one was the one that talked about, like, you know, these are androids. This is what makes them different from humans. Cyborgs. You know, this is what makes them different from humans. Mostly human, but they do have mechanical parts. And then they would talk about Melfina. Melfina is a bio-android. One that looks human from inside and out, but are not made by the hands of God. They were made by the hands of mortals. And I think that description, like that little history thing, my friend will know, but I think that specific short would make me put her up there. So yeah. And there's only one more left. Cece. A great one to end it off. Even though I never watched the last 6 episodes of the series, see, it's kind of hard to say, but okay, I'll go into it in a minute, but at the very, 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 very least, she's up here. Alright, extra Akko, you just stay down there. Alright, so here we go. Alright, I added all 99 characters. I'm not gonna say who could have been the 101 because there's like a couple of dozen that could have fit that slot. But here is all 99. And I'm overall not gonna change anything at the bottom. I won't change anything down here. I don't think so. And then, well, if I had to arguably say a couple of them, maybe Yumiko and Yoko could be a bit higher, but I don't know. In terms of up here, I'll try to do some slight changes, but alright, so now that everything has been done, there's only 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's only 8 up here, so I have to add 2 more. They definitely can. Some of these characters I only added down here because I wasn't sure if there was enough room, but now there is. So we have to narrow it down. So Mei, no. Hikaru, she's close, but no. Shokuho, no. Winry, no. Nagisa, no. Lust, no. Lane, no. Misaka, I like her, but no. I like Utako, no. Not Hotaru. I just can't pick her a bit. There's too much competition for her. Yoruichi and Orihime I do really like, but I do like these two in the manga a bit more. I'm just biased with the manga. Not these characters. The frick is, give me a second. What is this music? Another rare theme. A sad one. It's literally called Sadness. Alright, so I need to add 2. This is such a brutal thing you're making me do. Alright, so this is so brutal that you're making me do this. Oh man, this is really brutal. Okay, I'm just gonna organize them, putting them together. Let me show the characters that could arguably be in the top 10. Is there any more? Is there any more? Alright, so The ones that have the most potential are these 5. These are the 5 that are the most likely. Kotomi, just because she was in my top 10 for years, but it's just been too long. Now Yuki and Aaaaw are fresh in my mind, but they're like a tie, so it's so hard to choose. CC, I just, again, like specific connections that made me really love her last year. Weirdly enough, actually, man, a lot of these characters, and then Clarion, which, oh, crap. It sucks because if I pick Clarion, it's mainly because of the impact and just like her design. Man, this is so difficult. This is really difficult. Man, this is so difficult. If Nayuki and Aaaaw weren't so close together, this would be so much easier. Because I know one of them is going to be up there. You might ask, well, why can't you just... No, I can only allow 10. And the ones that are already up there absolutely are in my top 10. I wish I can just at least say one that can absolutely, like... Man, this sucks. This really sucks. I think what really sucks is that out of the 5, CC and Kotomi I think are the least likely for 2 reasons. CC, like out of Clarion and CC means a lot. I don't, dang, I don't know, like they both, these 5 are too difficult to choose. This is really difficult to choose. And you might think, well, why don't you pick the one that you're most likely to? If you had to ask me, if you asked me that, it would, again, you know, if the one that's most likely is Nayuki and Aaaaw. But I can't just add both of them. I feel like adding 2 characters, conning characters would be a lot. This is so difficult. This is very difficult. I think the one that's least likely is going to be Kotomi, sadly. It's like, she could be in my top 10, but I just haven't watched it yet. If I did rewatch it again, and if she was just as good as I remember, then she would be up here, no question. And then CC and... The problem is, it's like there's there's like 2 rivals. It's like these 2 are fighting and these 2 are fighting. It just sucks because all 5 of them are like close to equal. It's really hard to choose. One thing that doesn't help is that Nayuki and Aaaaw are too new. they're just too new. Like, Kotomi and Clarion have been around for years. And Cece's a bit old, you know, I watched that last year, so Nayuki and Ayu are just at a bit of a disadvantage. This is going to really hurt. This is going to really hurt. This is going to really hurt. I just don't think I can add Nayuki or Ayu in my top 10. The only reason is because they're too new. That's the only reason. They're just too new. I need more time to think about it. Like, if my feelings for them stay consistent, or if not, I like them even more, then yes, they could be in my top 10 potentially. But only in, you know, you can only add so many characters in the top 10 because you can only add 10. So I'm just gonna say this: the two characters I do put above them, I'm not saying I like them more. It really is just boils down to they've just been with me longer. So it's really hard to remember, but okay. I'm gonna take a gamble because I don't know how I'm gonna feel about her when I come back to it. Oh my god. It's so difficult. It's really difficult. You know that once I finish this video, I'm going to easily change my mind out of these 5 because they're too close together, man, for one reason or another. It's one thing if it was 1, but there's 2 slots. There's 2 of them! And I've already decided that these 5 are better than all the other characters, even if by a little bit. Like Orihime or Urabe, I don't know. What time, well, not what time is it, I know what time it is. Almost 3 hours, oh my god. I keep telling myself, like, just roll a die. I don't think I could do it, like, I don't think it works like that. Okay, let me boil down to each one. Clarion, I love her design. She is connected to one of the openings to me wanting to experiment with more manga. Like her in the anime just as much in the manga. Her design, everything, my weird slight obsession of her, having her for my pictures of her on YouTube. Nayuki, she's a newer character, and I guess because of several things, I just, you know, like I said, it's hard to say because, again, there's just not enough time has passed. Cece, you know, I had her twice on a Which Anime Character Are You, and I love her design. I love her green hair. Actually, how many green-haired girls on here? There's Shina, Cosmo, if you want to count her. And not many green hairs. And like I said, for how much I love red hair, how many red hairs are there? 1. I'll count Anya's hair. It's like a red pink, like a hot pink, red pink. I'm gonna count it. Anya, Takamoto, Brava, Yoke. Actually, there's a good amount of red hairs. I'm getting distracted. BSCC. Man, it's just, oh, it's so difficult. This is so difficult. Why you do this to me? It sucks because hypothetically, if I pick one of the common characters, I can't pick the other one, and then it's just gonna be other three that's gonna duke it out. Like I said, I go back and forth with Aaaaw and Nayuki. If I had to have a gun, if I had a gun to my head to say which one I like more, I love both of them. I really do. It is like 0.01% difference on which one I like more. Like man, this is like saying which series I like more, Mega Man or Zelda. It's like they're both amazing series. But like with Mega Man, I think what really boils it down to why I like Mega Man more is because Mega Man has Zero, my favorite character, period. So, same thing with this. If I had to pick one, it would boil down to one thing. One character. And again, like I said, because I'm having so much trouble with this can easily change. And I could probably change my mind. But just to get out of the way, if I had to have a gun to my head... if I had to have a gun to my head, and he was gonna pull the trigger... like 0.0001% difference. The only reason is because she's connected to someone. You know who you are. That's the only that's the one advantage. That's like the one, well, what I mean by is that's the one thing that was able to barely scrape by her. Because I will admit that if it wasn't for this character's connection to someone, Nayuki would be my favorite. By a little bit. However, like, how do I put this? It's like, okay, out of like... How do I put it? Like, if she was a 99%... It's like if she was a 99% positivity, and she's like a 95% positive, that one thing gave it that extra 5%. Oh man, that was painful. Like I said, I could easily, change my mind. I could easily go back and forth, but I really just need to wrap this up. But the question is, would I actually put Aaaaw above all these characters? Nagisa, yeah. Toru, yeah. Urabe, yeah. I have, again, it's hard because so many of these characters I've known for way longer, so Aaayow's just at a disadvantage, but with time, Aaaaw, I think, could go above them. Now, because I added Aaaaw, I'm honestly not wanting to add Nayuki, because like I said, all these characters are like a fraction apart. And it's really hard to choose, because excluding Nayuki now, I think one problem is that each one has like specific flaws. Like with CC, can't put her in my top 10 just because I haven't finished the anime and there's like very slight reasons, and then same thing with Clarion, there's like very slight reasons, even though I think what's crazy is now that I think about it, looking back at these 10 characters, ignoring aaaaw, Small Lady's like really the only one. Most of these other characters have been my favorite for years. So yeah, it's tough. Like Nayuki, again, I'm only adding. Ayu's getting privilege. she's getting privilege. She's getting baby privilege. But again, it could really. Definitely, I guess you could say these are like. Would be my top 15. Alright, well, I'm just going to have to go by my feelings when I first watched it, because even though Mikasa and Urabe were my top 5 favorites, not anymore. At least with Mikasa, even though I haven't finished the series, when I rewatched the first 2 seasons again, I just liked her a bit less. And with Urabe, I don't know, like, I really can't, because, I'll be honest, Urabe I can't put above aaaaw or Nayuki or even these other characters. I just can't now. It's a bit outdated. So, I'm not adding Nayuki because I don't want to add a second Kanin character up there. Because it seems like all these characters are from different series, so I want to keep the consistency. And this is kind of sad to say, but out of Clarion and Cece, they're both completely equal. I really can't choose who. But I'm gonna go by my feelings I had. I'm gonna go by my feelings I had back in 2019. I don't know what feelings I had, but I'll put her up here. She was in my top 10 for years, so I'm gonna just stick with me from like 7 years ago and just kind of and come back to the series and see what it was that he was just so in love with her. Alright, that's it. Oh. And as I've said, these characters, I guess you could say that these 3 characters is like, not in any order, but rank 11, 12, and 13, whatever. 11, 12, and 13. But I think that's it. Akko, Kagura, Kotora, Small Lady, Homura, Nao, Chidori, Kazuki, aaaaw, Kotomi. My 10 absolute favorite anime gals. And some honorable mentions that of my absolute favorites. But there is still like some slight things I do want to change real quick. Like, for example, I think I want to put her up here. I think maybe I want to put her up here. This might be a little weird, because whenever I look at the very cute tier, whenever I look at all the characters, the one that always gives the most competition is Misaki. Again, I do like Hinami, but this is anime Hinami. I'm a bit unbiased with the anime. And looking at all the characters, I'm very cute. Misaki is like one of the highest ones. So here's what I'll do. Misaki, I remembered having her like in my top 15 favorite anime girls. And you know what? I'm also just going to add Inori because she was in my top 15 and I'm just going to stick with my gut to it. Alright. I think because I have to tell myself, so you like her more than all these other characters? Again, it can easily change. Some characters definitely are on here, but it's like it's like, you know, there's a handful of characters here, a handful of characters there, a handful of characters there, a handful of characters there. It's like, oh, there's like a handful of characters that could arguably be higher, but it's like, you know, which is weird. It's like, would I really put Winry that high up there? And when I look at all the characters and then go back to Winry, I think, I don't know, these characters, Sango and Ami, are peak. This one. I don't know, like I said, some like Sango and Ami could arguably be up there. And then arguably some characters could be up there. But I think overall, I think this is it. And it only took 3 hours. No! I didn't mean for it to take 3 hours. Oh. And half an hour of it was just in a deadlock with those characters on who was going to be the best. Well, I guess I'm okay with Ayu and Kotomi because those two animes are amazing. And they have amazing characters and they're amazing. They're amazing. I'm thankful for you. Let's look at it one more time. It's like the higher I look up, the more I'm just like, yep, those are great gals. It's like I look at the very bottom, like, yeah, those are some really cool gals. Look at the next tier, like, those are really cool gals. Look at the next one, man, all these characters are so awesome. And then I look up there and man, these characters inspire me. And then I look at the very top and I'm like, the absolute rulers. Also, I'm tired, it's past 2 AM. So sorry, I'm just sounding silly. I keep looking at Shokuho and I'm just like, is she really that high up there? But then I have to think she is. If I have to say one reason why, I think just because, oh my gosh, I don't want to make this longer video than it already is. I guess one of the reasons at the very least is that I extremely like her design, like too much. I really like her design a lot. And I guess her power with, I don't want to go into it, I'm tired. Man, Hikaru, you could have made things so much easier. If you were just as good as you were in the manga, you would have been top 10. That's, that's the only reason why I wasn't debating with her with the others, because she just had a major flaw. But I still loved her. Man, it feels sad that Hikaru's not in the top 10. She really should. She really would be in my top 10. If I had, like, if she was as good as she was in the manga, I probably would remove Kotomi and just switch it with Hikaru. Make things easier. But no. I can't. Alright. I think this is a fitting song to end because it says Finn. Guess it's like a credits theme. But yeah, here's the whole list. Save. And download the image. It says title of tier list. What? I don't feel. Oh man. I don't know what saving's gonna do. Should show it. Favorite anime gals, my opinion, yo. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a top, like I wouldn't mind doing a 100 anime dudes tier list. Should be interesting. And yes, feminine guys are allowed, as long as they were born with a dick, they're allowed. Because for this tier, all of these are kapusis. Kapusi, please. Sorry, I'm getting tired now. Alright, we'll get you next time. Oh, what sucks is I have to wake up early to go somewhere. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm really not looking forward to that. Wait, I need to do something real quick. I'm trying to figure how I could add this picture onto my download. No. Will it allow it? I don't know if I can, sadly. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to do it another time. At the very least, I have it on here. I think I was able to do it the other ones because I did it on my phone. But just like my anime tier list, the picture is like on my computer. I wish I can try to put it onto my computer so I can have access to it on my phone. Okay, I guess I can do it after I'm done. Alright. So, hope you enjoyed this 3-hour long girl praising. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed in a little bit. Bye. But no, seriously, better than Baby?